So today we're going to talk about snowflakes, not the ones that come from the sky when it's cold outside and you can build a snowman. No, today we're going to talk about snowflakes, the people that cannot handle life, that are so sensitive that everything can offend them. So, how are they built? Like, where do they come from? Now, for those of you who are about my age, and I'm talking about the ones, 40 to say 55 years old, back in the day when we were kids, little things did not offend us. They didn't cause us undue distress. We didn't need to take a mental health day. We just trucked on with life. If you had a problem, you took it out back and you solved it in the grass with some fists. It wasn't this, I'm going to sit home and cry about it or post on social media how bad my life is. That's the type of snowflakes we're talking about today. So, how did we get here as society? How did we end up not being able to take criticism, not being able to not win? Lord forbid you don't win at something, you're not the best at something. And now we have participation trophies and awards and certificates. And, it's a congratulatory for everything. How is it that we have changed so much in the past 20 to 30 years? Well, I have an example of how snowflakes are made. One day, when I was managing a branch medical type facility, I had one of our employees request an afternoon off so that she could go and have a parent teacher conference for her twin daughters. They, I believe, were in kindergarten at that point in time. But she needed to go have a meeting with this teacher because she was very dissatisfied with the way that the teacher was treating her children. And of course, I was concerned for the children. Oh no, your teachers are mistreating your children, and what's going on, So then she proceeds to tell me that she is not happy with the grades that the children have. She's concerned because their grades are slipping and they're only in kindergarten. She cannot understand why her children don't have straight A's because they are certainly intelligent. So, me being curious, I asked the very, very stupid question. Well, what is it that is causing you to believe that this teacher is just kind of picking on your kids? What is she doing to these sweet angels that you have that is making you so upset that you're like calling a parent teacher conference to confront this teacher about how she is mistreating your children? What is going on? At this point, this person looks at me and says, well, it is in their spelling class, and as well as their math, but in spelling in particular, I just got their paperwork home, and they were learning how to spell small things because they're in kindergarten, so learning how to spell bat, cat, car, um, go. I mean, so like 3 letters and under words is what they're trying to learn how to spell in kindergarten. So she pulls out this paperwork for each of her children and she puts it down in front of me and she says, "Do you see here? This is an F." And I said, "Okay." And I looked at the paperwork and said, "So I don't understand the problem. They clearly just don't know how to spell the words correctly." So I asked my employee, well, I don't quite understand. So they didn't spell like 6 words correctly out of 10. So what is it that is the problem? And then she tells me, well, but they tried their hardest. But they studied a long time with me. We did flashcards and I questioned them and they were doing so well. And I thought that they knew how to spell car. So when they did not spell it correctly on their test, they should at least get credit for trying. So at this point where she is going in to argue with this teacher about how her child should get some sort of reward for at least just trying, at least, participating in the spelling test, but not doing it correctly. At this point, she has basically told her children, I am trying to set the bar lower for you because I don't think you can. I don't think you're good enough. Well, you may not be able to spell, but it's okay. You tried. So as a parent, and I have 2 children, as a parent, if I lower my expectations of my children, Or as an employer, if I lower my expectations of my employees and I say, well, at least they tried, I am setting a precedent that says, you know what? You just show up and everything will be okay. There's nothing really expected of you because at the end of the day, you tried. And I'm going to give you credit for that because, well, I don't think you can. I don't think you're good enough. So I have to lower my expectations of you to the point where I think you can meet it. So, what are we truly telling to our children when we give them participation trophies or awards, or we're asking their teachers to give them credit for something? Even just a couple of years ago, when my youngest was in high school, they now have it to where you can get some credit if you turn it in late. I'm thinking to myself, that must be nice because back when I was in high school, you either had it turned in on time or you got a zero. There was no, oh, well, if you turn it in late, we'll give you half credit. That's so much of a far fetched idea. Why are we even allowing this? Why are we allowing late turn ins and makeup work? You're either there or you're not. You're either doing the work or you're not. Why is this even allowed? It is now telling our children that we are raising at this point, well, when you get to your job, if you have a deadline, that's all right. You'll still be fine. Just turn it in late and they're going to give you credit. No, realistically speaking, you're going to lose your job. So why are we doing this to our children? Just to make their lives, their cute little sweet innocent lives better? Prepare them for the future. And coming from old school where we had standards, we had expectations, to see that not exist in society, that is one of those things, folks, that make me crazy. Y'all have a great day.